In this video, I want to talk about the power of being you. So boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is so incredibly important that you realize how uniquely beautiful your energy is. There is nobody on the face of this planet, nobody that has ever been created or will be created that is exactly as magical and unique as you are. So what do I mean by this, and how do we utilize this knowledge to bring about the best version of ourselves? So when we can really synthesize this very, very crucial piece of information, we start to understand the lesson that being ourselves, being our real, true, authentic self is the highest vibrational output, or the highest possible way that we can show up on planet Earth. Why is this important? How is this going to affect you in every area of your life? Okay, so often individuals feel like they have to be something that they're not. Okay, so they are grown up they're brought up in a certain religious background, with certain societal expectations, with certain social expectations of what they are supposed to be and how they are supposed to show up in their daily life, who they're supposed to marry, who they're supposed to be with, what the unfoldment of their life, career, everything is supposed to look like, from what they are supposed to wear, how they're supposed to speak, what music is appropriate, what music isn't appropriate, what types of relationships, on and on and on. We have all of these social constructs that may or may not fit into what is the calibration of your own joy. And so when we are completely on purpose and we give ourselves 100% permission to be who we are, is when we become completely happy. And so let me really throw this back or bounce this off different types of aspects, and also that attunement to happiness in different areas of our lives. So let's take it in terms of relationships. If at any point you are trying to distill down or be a lighter version of yourself, or not be who you truly are to please somebody in a relationship, it's not a good relationship. It's never going to work. The reason why is you're trying to become something that you are not to gain external love from somebody else. And truly, the way that you're going to be the most happy is if you are 100% yourself and you align with and find somebody that loves you for exactly who you are. Because then you can be you. You're not having to adjust anything or squish yourself or mold yourself into a box that just doesn't fit. Because undoubtedly, eventually you're going to feel really uncomfortable in this box that quote unquote person put you into, because you had to fit their expectations. So be easy on yourself, be kind to yourself, and just be you, and look for that individual that loves you, likes you just the way you are. Don't be anything different than what you are to try to please somebody else. It will never work, because really you're not pleasing yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice to try to make somebody else happy, and it just doesn't work, okay? Because you're not being authentic. They're gonna feel that, and there's all of this energetic tension that eventually, like that elastic band, it's going to snap, okay? And it usually, again, it's a lesson. It's not a bad thing when we try this out, when it doesn't work, whatever have you, but it's good to have some of these parameters when we're setting off along our life path. Okay, so the other aspects of being authentically your beautiful, unique self, okay? When we are doing this in terms of our career path, I know that there's a lot of individuals, I own colleges, I speak with young people, old people, people that are trying to transition all the time. And what is so incredibly important when we are trying to figure out our life path, our career path, is that we actually check in with, what do we like? What fills our soul? What makes us happy? What are the aspects of ourselves that we want to bring forth into that career, into that life path? And so often people choose a career path or a life path based on financial gain only. Well, this is a good job because I'm going to make a lot of money. And then years go by and they realize they're actually really miserable because the only factor that they looked at when they were looking at what kind of career to embark upon was that dollar factor. They didn't check in with their authentic self. They didn't check in with that aspect of themselves, that really would have called forth their innate talents and the things that filled their soul to begin with. Okay, we have to work every day, undoubtedly. Okay, that's part of life for most people. Okay, so why not create your career and your job around what you really love doing so that you're inspired to do that thing each and every day? Now, let's talk about family. Okay, when you are around your family, oftentimes, and especially throughout human history, a lot of individuals will put on a different mask when they're around their family, try to fit into the family, try to be something different. Again, this creates an internal resentment because those people that are supposed to love you for who you are, you're putting on a mask for. You're not really being your authentic self, and therefore this authentic exchange of lovingness cannot be truly cultivated with those people that are supposed to be your people. Okay, so that's why it's better just to let it all go, to come out in your glory, who you are, what you're meant to be, and bypass all of those things. Now, in the beginning, it can be a little bit difficult. I know myself, I've always been one of those, glittery kind of Dolly Parton-esque figures, and it didn't always fit well with my family or extended family, and maybe they were a little bit uncomfortable about it. And for the longest time, I would try to be something I wasn't. But I was faking it. I wasn't really being me, and this is just who I am. I can't help that. I'm going to be like this, and when I'm in the old folks' home, I always joke that I'm going to be that person that comes out in their feather boa, and that's just who I am. I've always been that way. So this is part of just owning that authentic aspect of oneself and realizing that that unique part of you is what makes you unique. It is what makes the world this beautiful kaleidoscope of different energies. So don't try to be like everybody else. You don't have to be. You weren't made like everybody else. And really becoming comfortable in your own skin and with your own likes and dislikes and desires and things that you want to see happen for yourself and what you want to create, it brings a lot of joy because it's in alignment. It is actually who you are. So not being in fear of letting everything that you are hang out, let it all out. Be yourself 100%, and you will feel a lot of joy and freedom in simply being you. Now, this goes for all aspects of one's life. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Using this template of authenticity and being your true self is always going to make you feel the most comfortable because you're never wearing a mask. You're never being something else or something other than who you are. So you're also showing up in this raw, authentic, honest fashion. And whatever it is, whatever friendships that you make, connections that you make, you're being the real you. Those individuals are experiencing the real you. So there's also never fear in the back of one's mind that, what if the real me comes out? What if they see who I really am and don't like that? So do yourself a big favor, just be you from the get-go, and you will find alignment with people that match your energy. Yes, some people are not going to like who you are being the real raw you. That's okay. That's actually better that is established, that you're not their type or you're not their person. Let it go. Energies that align with you will find you, and then you find your soul tribe. Again, I'm not going to make this video very long, but hopefully that will inspire anybody out there to really realize that the way that they were created is perfect, and that they can really be exactly who and what they are, which will create the perfect unfoldment of what they're meant to be.